Shalom, welcome to 6 by 6, which means 6 minutes a day and times 6 days of the week, and you get a full idea from the Lubavitcher Rebbe and his Likutei Sichos. And we're going to discuss really today as a continuation of the previous Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe, you say it in Yiddish. The previous Rebbe was released from exile in Russia on the 12th day of Tammuz, and we were discussing that actually affected the whole entire month, as what Purim does and the Passover does also. Now, it's very interesting. We said it before. We've been being sad on the 17th day of Tammuz for 2,000 years since the destruction of the Second Temple in Jerusalem. Now, not even 100 years later, about 100 years ago, that we now are super happy about the release from the previous Rebbe. And what happened was, and we have to discuss that a little bit also, that what happened, and thank God we're in America, but you have to remember that in 1917 was the Russian Revolution, and the communists took over, and they want to eradicate religion. Well, that's just the opposite antithesis of what the previous Rebbe wanted. He wanted all Jewish people to turn the mitzvahs, and of course, the non-Jews should keep their 7 B'nai Noach, Noahide laws, and so that put them at odds. Well, the previous Rebbe kept on going, even though the communists were vicious. They put people in jail in Gulag, they sent to Siberia, that they killed people for teaching Judaism. I mean, you have to frame the situation. It was a very dangerous situation in communist Russia, and this was 1927, at the height of the Stalinist regime. And the previous Rebbe kept on sending his Hasidim to open up schools and strengthening in any case and everywhere Torah and the mitzvahs. Well, the communists, like we said, to say the least, didn't appreciate it. They actually arrested him for, God forbid, for spreading religion, a major crime in those days and that time in the communists. And they actually not only put him in jail, it's a whole story in its own right, but they actually tortured him. He was actually crippled for life and threw him down the stairs and hit him, and it was terrible. And, the Soviets and the Russians were very vicious people, to say the least. They killed millions of people, really, to strengthen their regime. Thank God that it's over with in our lifetime. But in any case, in the 1920s, that they were at the height of being vicious, and they tortured the previous Rebbe. And they actually sent the previous Rebbe to a death sentence. But again, it's a long story, and I'm just making it very, very brief now. That Hasidim, of course, it's totally unacceptable to do that to the Rebbe, and they actually leaned on a lot of leaders, and there were Hasidim already in America, in the United States. They leaned on the politicians, and it was a guess. Even for these politicians, how do you kill and murder a leader of a religion? What kind of business is that? I mean, it's crazy. It's barbaric, even though they did barbaric things, but they were appalled from doing that, and they leaned on the Russian government, and the government, all right, we won't kill him, we'll send him to 3 years in Kostroma, which is it's in the Gulag, it's just far away in the middle of nowhere, which is it's almost like being sent into a desert. I mean, maybe it wasn't a real desert, but it was a desert of Judaism and Jewish things, and it was very harsh, the harsh conditions. And in any case, that's better. 3 years is better than a death sentence, but wasn't enough for the Hasidim. He didn't do anything wrong. What are you sending a person to 3 years? And again, it wasn't just jail, which even in America is not the easiest and best place to be. But those, again, they were vicious and low people that he had sent to. And in any case, they leaned on even more on the Russian government. They finally, all right, leave, goodbye, and good luck. And that's how the previous Rebbe left. First, it was the 3rd day of Tammuz, where he was released from a death sentence. And again, 9 days later, the 12th day of Tammuz, that they told him, you can, just leave Russia, goodbye. We don't want to have any more troubles with you. And, there was a lot of international pressure. They didn't do it out of the kindness of their heart, but like I say, it was international pressure that was put upon them. So that's what happened to the very, very brief, because there's a lot of stories what happened in the jail. It's for another time, but not for now over here. But the question is now, is that why is that happening this special day, as we were talking about, with changes over Tammuz, only in the last 100 years, and for 2,000 years, with the Jewish people, and even today, of course, we mourn. We still can't do away with the fast day. You have to appreciate what the Code of Jewish Law says, and that means basic Judaism is that you fast on the seventh day of Tammuz and you mourn, and that's just part of basic Judaism. You can't stop it until the Mashiach comes, of course. But it's a very important point, and we have to continue this idea of why after 2,000 years, or less than 100 years, the times have changed. And why is it now that it's a special happy month because of the happy day of the previous Rebbe? How does that apply to us is the issue right now? And why did it come so late in history? Let's say the last 100 years. Judaism has been around for thousands of years, of course. And why did it only happen nowadays? So we'll continue the thought, and we'll answer all questions in the coming sessions.